Just about every single time Marvel Snap has changed its economy, it has taken a step forward while simultaneously taking 2 steps backwards. And it's honestly really frustrating. And I want to talk about the new Spotlight Cash system that was just added only about a week ago. So we haven't even experienced it for very long, yet the entire community is in uproar. There are new things popping up every day that people are upset about. And I just want to break down the good, the bad, how we got here, how we can improve. And look, I don't have all the answers. And do I think this system sucks? A little bit, but so did the last system before it. It's just we can't get to a place where it's just satisfying everyone. And maybe that's just how it's always going to be. But there are some little numbers, some little things, some communication things I think we could change for the better to just make this whole experience of growing your collection and just the economy in the game feel a lot better. I think that's what's important as a gamer. You just want to feel like at least your time is being valued. And I feel like right now with some of the mechanics that are in these Spotlight Caches, it's kind of a slap to the face to your time, your investment, your hard work to grind out to get these Spotlight Caches. So let's get into the ups and the downs. To me, this is the biggest thing right here, okay? So they made it so that you have a 25% chance to get the brand new card. And hey, if you don't have a very big collection, well, guess what? You also have a 25% chance to get another card you probably don't own, another card you probably don't own, and then another random card you may or may not own. Now, here's what absolutely blew my mind when I figured this out, because I looked through the blog that is on marvelsnap.com and all the literature that they gave out to us, at least to the public. I'm not talking about like dev team answers, because does that really count? Not the average person is going to go and check that out. So I looked through all that documentation and they did not say that the random series 4 or 5 card could be a duplicate. What? That was crazy to me. When I saw this system, the reason I hyped it up is because I thought you're guaranteed to get a new card. And if you happen to have a bigger collection, well, now you have a 50% chance, right? You're either going to get the new card that just got released or a series 4 or 5 card that you do not own, which sounded great. 50% chance for those players who have a big enough collection, fine. Okay, but here's the thing. It's a 25% chance to get a duplicate, which converts to a variant. That is a premium variant, so it's 700 gold or 1200 gold, but does it really matter? The value of that doesn't equate. It's not, you can't even look at it as 1200 gold because you might not be someone who values variants or the cosmetics or anything like that, right? So that's a total whiff, and you grinded to get there. You played the game on repeat dailies and whatnot. You collected all that stuff all week long to get to one Spotlight Cache, and then you open it and you just had bad luck. Sorry, see you later. You got a variant. Now I know it's not all that bad, because if you're a person who's in like series 3, right, then you have better chances of getting the new cards, and that's fantastic. The one thing that I am really happy about with this update is that people who have smaller collections have better chances to get the new cards. That is a fact, and that is good. Unfortunately, they're more of the quiet people, so when you look on social media and whatnot, and on YouTube, here we are, we're talking about the downsides to this new economy. Well, of course, it's going to seem bad because we have bigger collections. So I just want to get this out of the way. These positives are actually positives. These step forwards are in fact step forwards. It's the step backs that just really frustrate the community, and it'd be nice to just have a few steps forward and that's it. We leave it there. Because here we go again. So even if you don't have a very big collection, but you happen to open up, maybe like in the past, a series 4 or 5 card, or you saved up your tokens, you got one of those cards, that means there is still a chance that you could roll into a duplicate. Yeah, that might be very small, but it could happen. And how bad does that feel? As somebody who's not even Series 3 complete, you roll into a duplicate of a Series 4 or 5 card that you actually own because you grinded enough tokens, which are harder, by the way, we'll get to that, and then it becomes a duplicate, it turns into a variant, and that's it. Then you got to move on. And maybe you really wanted those cards that week, but you just don't have the time because you can only get so many resources in a week, so you're just screwed. This duplicate rule, this absolutely stunned me. But we're going to talk about some solutions to this later. And also, I'm going to take you right now and just go ahead and say that, yes, Team Secondary needs to make money. These are hardworking people. I have no problem with that. I don't want them to make it so that everybody can collect every single card. That's not what it's about either. It's about the gameplay experience, the feeling that happens when you grind for these resources to open this up and it's just a variant that you don't care about. That's a very negative experience that will push people to quit. I guarantee it. If they haven't already, they're thinking about it. when that happens to them. And maybe you're lucky and it hasn't happened to you, and that's fantastic. I hope it doesn't. But unfortunately, with odds like this, it probably will. As a personal experience, I had 3 spotlight caches saved up. And that took me a while to acquire, but I had 3. And what happened? The very first one I opened was Kitty Pryde. It turned into a variant. I was like, okay, well, that burned 1. That's basically a week of grinding. Okay, next up, I got the Living Tribunal variant. I was like, okay, but I don't even really want to play Living Tribunal. And now I have a 50-50 of getting the Null variant, which I also don't really care about, or the card I actually grinded up for. Lucky for me, I hit Jean Grey on the 3rd. But I have a very close friend that had the same, saved up 3 spotlight caches, and did not get Jean Grey. That was the only remaining reward. Feels bad. All right, let's talk about something else that doesn't feel too great, huh? And that's opening up token rewards that only give you 50 at a time. Man, that hurts. We knew this going in. I wasn't too sure because I thought if this new system is great, and I'm going to keep going back to this. I went into this system thinking that you would be guaranteed a card like in each reward, and if you had too many, it was going to be variants, but not a duplicate. Like it was going to be the 2 variants that you saw, a card you don't own, or the new card. It's not. So every little thing that cascaded beyond that just looks worse and worse and worse. And the token rewards of only 50 feels really bad. You'd have to get 120 of these rewards to get 6,000 tokens, which equates to a Series 5 card, or 60 of them to get a Series 4 card. So clearly, Team Second Dinner does not want you to stack up a bunch of tokens. It's like a total backup option, like the way back there. It's a total backup option to getting a new card. What they want you to do is either buy the bundles, right? Because they're going to have the bigger token rewards, or just, open up those spotlight caches and grind that way to get your new cards. But on the other side, tokens are less necessary because new cards are obtainable via caches. I mean, that's what we had hoped for, but as you can see, it's not really the case. So they kind of just took away agency from the players using tokens. And I was kind of fine with this if the caches were as hyped up as they were supposed to be. But now, the more I open this 50 token reward up, I just can't stand it. It feels so bad. Again, going to the player experience, it's not a positive one. All right, and then they introduced more means to getting new rewards, right? So you have the weekend missions. That's another way to get a few more resources. In this instance, this was crazy. It was 1,000 tokens. They actually decreased that to like 300, and I think it varies depending on the week, whatever they decide they want to do, but it always involves, at least these 2 right here, the most valuable, gold and tokens, is always going to involve the new cards, either the season pass card or the card that released that week. And how do you acquire those? Well, you got to cough up a bunch of money. So now it's like a bit of this like, oh, well, if you spend more, you get more kind of situation. And that feels kind of bad, especially for just missions. Like, can't we just make these really difficult to complete but fun missions that aren't card restricted so your deck building is all kind of whack? I think people get really stressed out because 15 games takes a while and maybe they don't really like playing with that card, or maybe they never even picked it up. And let's not forget about Conquest rewards, right? So they added Conquest mode, which is a free-to-play mode, which is fantastic, and it offers rewards in currency format like credits and boosters, etc., and these sorts of things. This is great because it's completely free to enter these modes. But recently, out of nowhere, they inflated the prices alongside all this other stuff. I think it was a little bit before, but still, it doesn't look good when it all happens at once or near the same proximity. So here we have the metals being increased. I don't even know what the amount was, but it does take significantly longer to acquire these rewards. This is not the worst thing in the world, but again, this was a step forward, and then they took a step back. And here's another step forward along with a big step back. This was randomly added. Didn't see it anywhere in the patch notes. I love it. It's great. You buy 10 variants to earn 2,000 tokens. So you're rewarded for purchasing cosmetics in the shop, which is great. I think a lot of people want to buy the variants, but maybe they don't see the value of spending the gold. It's still not valuable. Don't get it mixed up. The amount of gold that you have to dump into this to get 2,000 tokens isn't the same as like using it to credits to increase your collection road to get those 50 token rewards. Okay, believe it or not. And they removed the gold reward from the collection road. This feels really bad. A lot of people were super upset with this when I first saw it, and I thought, hey, maybe it doesn't matter because there's all these other means of acquiring gold, but it just hasn't proven true. And when you have this in the game, which means spend gold to get those variants to get more tokens, but hey, we took away methods of acquiring gold, so now you kind of have to buy it. Like, that doesn't feel so great to me either. Okay, this definitely got people upset. So here, some new cards are now releasing directly to Series 4. I said it a few times. I thought this was the biggest possible change they could make to the economy at the given time, because, like, that's a 50% discount. You went from a 6,000 costing card to 3,000 token costing card. That's amazing. That's amazing. But then they also changed it with this new Spotlight Cash, where these series drops are much less frequent, if they ever happen. We actually skipped an entire month, so we don't even know when the next month is going to happen. They're locking some cards into Series 4 and 5, depending on power level. That's actually been confirmed, which is crazy to me. So it's just this weird, like, here you can have this not so great card at a discount, 3,000 tokens. Pick that one up, but these 5,000 token ones, they're never really going to drop. It's much harder to get tokens, and if you don't pick it up in the Spotlight Cash in that week, you might never see that card. I didn't pick up Silk. I'm missing that card, right? I don't know when I'm ever going to acquire this card unless it somehow someday ends up dropping, and that's not guaranteed. We don't know if these cards are ever going to actually drop. So unless I save up tokens for months on end to acquire Silk, I don't think I'm ever going to really have that card, which is fine. Again, I don't care. I'm not making the video because I'm overly upset. I have a near full collection. I'm missing one card. It's not a big deal. Over time, maybe this gets a little bit frustrating, but I think it's the player experience that is taking massive, massive hits from this economy shakeup. But it so easily could feel better. Like, there's so many ways that they could make this feel better with just some number tweaks, a few steps forward. Okay, I'm going to talk about this one more time just because it's the craziest thing to me. But basically, lower collection level players can get a Series 4 or 5 card every week. I have to hit that home. That is such a massive upgrade. This is not a total rant video. I know I'm sounding a bit salty. I know I'm a little heated right now, and I'm talking about these things all crazy, but there was a lot of good that came from this system. Again, the quiet players, the people you don't know, they're benefiting pretty big from this, and I'm really happy for that. But the higher collection level players took a big hit, and again, that experience, you open that card, it turns into a variant. It's not a new card. You saved up that Spotlight Cash. That absolutely suck. And the more you get those Series 4 or 5 cards, the more your Spotlight Cash value is going to decrease, because now you have a chance. You have a chance to roll into a duplicate. So let's talk about some solutions. Honestly, pick one. Pick one of these and it would go a long way. Take a step forward. Don't take a step back. So tired time and time after again. We've seen it with Nexus events. We've seen it with the token shop. We've seen it with all these little changes to the economy. I think Team Secondary is genuinely trying to make it feel better. I really honestly do feel that. I know a lot of people hate the team or whatever, think they're super greedy. I know some of these people. I think they're very kind people. They want people to have a good experience with this game. They just keep hitting the mark, I think, with the numbers and some of the systems that are implemented. And we just have to make a few changes that is going to make them a lot of profits, bring a lot more people to the game, and also just make a much more positive experience. So the first thing to me, which just seems like a no-brainer, like it has to happen, is remove the duplicates. Like, these duplicates are not a good idea. And if you think that is too valuable, like if we made it a new card only, right? So if I'm missing Silk, it's the only card missing in my collection, then that duplicate or that random Series 4 and 5, the emblem that I'm talking about, I'll put it on the screen, if that would convert to Silk because it's the only card I'm missing. Okay, so maybe that's too valuable, okay? I still think it's totally fine. Let the people who have big collections get the big collections and all the cards, but whatever, okay? Let's say that's too valuable. Make it 2,000 or 3,000 tokens, huh? And maybe 3,000 is too much because that's a Series 4 card that you get to choose, so you make it 2,000, slightly less, but you could also save up that 2,000 to be a Series 5 card, so there's value in that. This to me seems like an amazing compromise. I think it's a no-brainer solution. I just feel like you have to remove these duplicates because, again, you did not communicate properly that was a thing, and it feels very, very bad to open. And everybody was shocked. You see all the videos of people opening up their caches, and it's like, oh, Kitty Pryde, like, what is this doing here? And then convert to a 700 gold variant or 1200 gold. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Okay, 100 token reward in the collection track minimum. This is purely just to feel better when you're opening these reserves up, because now reserves, they're just not exciting. You rip through them, you get a title, you get an avatar, you get a 50 token reward. You're like, even that's whatever. You get credits and you're like, oh, okay, well, I can progress a little bit further, get a little bit closer to that spotlight cache. And that's kind of the best possible reward that exists in those reserves now. I think you can open 100 tokens, but it's very few and far between. So yeah, I would definitely like to see this become the new minimum. And honestly, we could even look at increasing that further, but we could start there, a little bit of a step forward. Nothing back. Varying weekend missions that don't require new cards make them a little bit more fun. I don't even know what they could be, but stretch your imagination, make it something crazy. I don't even know, but a little bit more fun. Like maybe even like do play X amount of games in Conquest to get people over there or whatever. Just don't make it like pay to win. Not necessarily pay to win, but pay to acquire. And then again, stronger and more reliable series drops, because that was a pretty positively received experience, I think. But especially when people knew guaranteed these cards were going to drop at X date, I think people were pretty happy with it. That was working out. And then you changed it, and then it became like this weird like power level thing. Like Darkhawk can't drop because he's too strong. What are we doing there? That's a bit wacky to me. 3 times value. Oh my gosh, guys. I don't know. I know I'm coming off heated. I'm looking salty. I know there's going to be so many people upset about this video in the comments below. I just want to talk about it. I just want to get it out there. My thoughts, my feelings about this right now. I've seen a lot of negative experiences about the game in general, people quitting, and that makes me sad. That makes me upset. And that's why I make these kind of videos. I don't like doing these kind of videos. I always want to have positive things to talk about in Snap, but every now and then these do need to be talked about, so that hopefully we do end up seeing some of these changes, they consider it, and we just have a better experience with Marvel Snap moving forward. So let me know, guys, in the comments below how you're feeling about the new system. Maybe you think it's okay, and I'm happy for you. Honestly, genuinely happy if that is the case. I've just seen a lot of negativity so far. Do you think any of these solutions are reasonable? One of them. I'm not saying all of these should happen all at once. I'm saying let's try one, see how that feels. Let's just go for it. The spotlight caches, I think they have done some good. It's again, we got to look at the numbers. We got to take it back to the lab and see what we can do and not make it so convoluted. Holy smokes. We do not need more complex economic systems in Marvel Snap. We got plenty. We're maxed out. Let's make it more simple. Change the numbers around. Make them a little bit better. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching as always. And I'll catch you guys next time.